turn over to the other side of Pennsylvania Avenue. Senator James Inhofe of Oklahoma. He supported Merrick Garland in 1997 for the D.C. Circuit Court. In fact, he already spoke to Garland today and has said he will not consider any nominee during this election cycle. Senator Inhofe, let me start with there. Welcome back to the show, sir.
Nice to be back with you.
Let me start there. No confirmation hearings at all?
None
Would you
at
be
all.
willing to let that happen at all?
Look,
or no?
I'll tell you what's funny about this, Chuck. Josh Earnest said all this with a straight face, and that's kind of comical because he knows very well. He heard Mitch McConnell right after the death, the tragic death of our justice. And he's under no circumstances are we going to do this. And if you go back and look in history, the last time this was done would have been 139 years ago. There's been a precedent that has been living since 1888, I think.
Well, there's a lot of people have reinterpreted these precedents, and there's certainly some ways to say there have been some confirmations that did take place in presidential years, election years.
And no, not in the presidential years, but in the statement that we made was actually accurate. And I thought it was very clear what Mitch McConnell said, and I was very proud of him for making that statement. We should not be taking the nomination, considering the nomination of a president who's on his way out. We should let the people speak, and the argument is right, and we're going to do that. By the way, the reason that I got a phone call, I guess, from Judge Garland was he has a lot of Oklahoma connections. I think perhaps you know that.
Right.
And I made it very clear to him. I said, I want to make sure you understand there's no misunderstanding. I will not vote. I would not support you or any other nomination of this president because that would be breaking new ground, and I'm not going to do it. And it doesn't matter if Obama would nominate George W. Bush. I would still not do it.
Well, I guess it's interesting that you say you want to have the people have a voice. Does 2012 not count?
Well, that's 2012 is in the past and not in the future. Hopefully, this country is going to go in a different direction.
No, I understand that, but it was a 4-year term. So why does it not count in this last year?
Well, because the last year is an election year where we're going to have a new leadership in this country. I hope we're going to have new leadership in this country, and if that's the case, then we're all committed to that. I'll tell you the ones that I really appreciate are those who are coming up with tough races, Republicans, in this year, 2016, and they also agree. Yes, there are going to be people who are going to be listening to Josh Earnest and others thinking that this is somehow a horrible thing that we're doing when we're doing exactly what they did the last time the same circumstances.
Wow. You're right about that. There is certainly nobody has clean hands. Neither party has clean hands when it comes to judicial nominations and election years.
And you've heard all the statements that were made by. Okay.
I have Joe Biden, you name it, Chuck Schumer. There's, like I said, if hypocrisy were water, everybody would drown, I think, in Washington, D.C. sometimes when it comes to judges. But let me ask you this. Are you willing to risk? Merrick Garland is probably as moderate of a pick as you were going to get from President Obama. Are you willing to risk having a more liberal nominee from a President Hillary Clinton if she happens to win?
Well, yes, I'm willing to risk that.
And is there any chance that you would end up wanting to confirm Merrick Garland in the lame duck after November if the country chooses a Democrat for the White House?
I'm hoping that no one else talks about that either. That is not an appropriate thing. We've made a decision that we're not going to confirm any nominee by President Obama. And that's very clear. In fact, when I got the phone call from Judge Garland, I started it right off. I said, I want you to understand, I'm happy to talk to you, but it has nothing to do with you. It's the process. You know that. He seemed to be understanding, quite frankly.
I take it, though, personally, you're a fan of his. That you respect him, you like him.
Well, I'll put it this way. I don't dislike him.
Okay. Senator Jim Inhofe, thanks for coming on, sir. Appreciate it.
Chuck,
thanks for sharing.